we've got another question from Natalia from YouTube, which is, have you ever seen the Southern Lights, otherwise known as the Aurora Australis, in New Zealand? If yes, when and where is the best place and time to see it?
Wow. Okay. So, well, Laura, you get started on this one.
Well, yeah, we won't beat around the bush. The Southern Lights are pretty hard to see, and there's a lot of conditions that need to be very correct in order for you to see them. But yeah, we can. Personally, we haven't seen the Southern Lights, but we do have an article on BackpackerGuide.NZ which lists the criteria that needs to be around in order to find them. And we actually do know quite a few people who have seen the Southern Lights, and they gave us loads of tips as well. So, yeah, so do you want to go with one of the criteria?
Yeah, I'm going to go through like the basics, right, for the Southern Lights. I'm not going to go too in depth because there is the article that will go through all of that, and otherwise the video is going to be literally an hour. But first thing first, I need to know about the Southern Lights that they don't necessarily look as good as you see the picture of the Southern Light being, right? When photographers are taking pictures of the sky at night, they use long shutter speed, meaning that the little opening on the camera kind of stays open bigger and for longer, taking in more light. So that's why very often you're going to see some beautiful Milky Way pictures, but when you look up in the sky, you just see a few dots, and that's what it is, right? So a lot of the Southern Lights, they are faint little lights, and they're not necessarily looking as bright as that. Again, Lauren, I haven't seen them just yet. We will keep trying, but that's come from a lot of our friends which actually have seen them, and a lot of our friends that actually have taken pictures of them. Now, as per perfect condition to see the Southern Lights, I'm just going to take the notes because there is a lot of them, but first thing first, the best time of the year to see the Southern Lights are in winter in New Zealand. So that's, let's say, between March and September, right? Between March, sorry, I just had a brain fart right here. So yeah, between March and September, this is the best time of the month to see the brightest Southern Lights. Now, you also want, obviously, clear skies, so you want a night where there are going to be no clouds, because, you know, the Southern Light don't really care if there's cloud or not. They appear or they don't appear, but if there's clouds, you just don't see them. So you want a clear sky, usually in winter. Now, to know what kind of awesome Southern Light you're going to see, you need to look at the aurora's strength. Okay, so those strengths are measured in kp, and that goes from 0 to 9. 0 is the lowest, 9 is the highest. Anything above 5 is usually good for a viewing of Aurora Australis or Southern Lights. So you want something above 5. Now, to know what is the kp, it's pretty complex stuff. It's a little bit like the weather forecast, so it's not always super accurate. So you have to have the inaccuracy of the weather forecast and the inaccuracy of that forecast. But when you're going to go on the article that we'll link below, there is a link to a website where some really people crazy about astronomy and astrophotography are actually doing all those forecasts and actually predicting what are going to be the KP or the strength of the aurora for the foreseeable future. Like something like that, I think they predict about 7 days in advance.
Yeah.
So it's something you can't really plan when you plan your trip, right? It's something that, you know,
you have basically, to be spontaneous.
Yeah, you'll be lucky basically for the right place at the right time. And speaking of so once you got the good weather, you got the good strength, you have the right time of the year, you also need to find the right spot. Now, the best spot to see the Southern Light in New Zealand are either Stewart Island, because it's all the way at the bottom and there's literally nothing there, but it's a bit quite far. The most accessible, and therefore I feel like the best, is around Lake Tekapo and Mount Cook. Now, this area is a dark sky reserve. It's protected by the UNESCO, which is kind of this organization which protects, like, you know, like the Parthenon in Greece or Milford Sound here in New Zealand, saying that, you know, they are of significant importance for the human race. Now, those... I'm having a brain fart. Oh, yeah. So now this area is protected, meaning that you can't build too many buildings that create light at night. So they're the best kind of place in New Zealand to spot the Southern Lights. So yes, that should cover weather, time, aurora strength and locations. That should be a good start. And again, link below in the description with the best place to see the Southern Lights in New Zealand, as well as another article on basically best time of the year, best location, and how to spot the southern lights. It's a really complex subject, so we have a lengthy article. Make sure to read it below and do your homework if you plan on seeing them. And obviously, any other questions, put them below.